In this video, we'll go over the creation of grading rubrics. To create a rubric in Brightspace, first go into the relevant course and then click on Assessments on the nav bar and choose Rubrics from the drop-down menu. Next, click on New Rubric. The first thing to do is to give the rubric a name and to make sure its status is on Published. Now you have two main options for rubric setup. There is the Analytic and the Holistic. The Analytic is a classic criteria-based rubric with various levels of scores, whereas the Holistic is an overall assessment of the entire assignment's merit. The initial setup of an analytic rubric contains 3 criterion with 4 levels each. You can always add a new criterion by clicking on the Add Criterion button down below, or you can add levels to each criterion by clicking on the buttons with plus signs on either side of the levels. We can also remove a criterion by simply clicking on the trash bin icon underneath the level. When asked to confirm, just click Delete. If you wish to remove a criterion, you'll have to click the More option and choose Delete Row. Once again, you'll have to confirm if you want to delete part of your rubric. Using the rubric creation area is fairly straightforward. Simply click where you want to add your text, and you'll be able to start typing. For example, you can rename the levels. So level 4, giving you 4 points, could be excellent, with a general comment and initial feedback that just says, good job. The criterion itself in this case might be something like grammar, and an excellent may be defined by something like perfect grammar, no typos, great use of MLA. Now, if you don't want this to be the first piece of the rubric that people see, simply move your cursor next to the criterion and find these little 8 dots. Then simply click and drag the criteria wherever you'd like it in the list. Now you can see that it is now below criterion number 2. All you have to do is repeat those steps for every criterion, and you'll be able to create an excellent analytic rubric. Then as you scroll down to the bottom, you will see that you have the option to give an overall score. Just like the rubric above, the overall score section can be added to or subtracted from in the same ways. And again, if you try to delete anything, you will always be asked to confirm this. And here you'll be able to give people overall feedback on their assignment. There are a few more options that you can find if you just expand this little arrow. So you can adjust the rubric visibility. You can make it visible to all students or hidden, or you can make it hidden until feedback is published. You can also choose to hide scores from students. Additionally, if there's anything else you wanted to add but didn't want students to see, you can add it here in the description text box. As it says, it will not be shared with students. Scrolling even further, there are some advanced availability settings, but they are used very, very infrequently. Now, as we scroll up to the top, we will also have the ability to change the scoring options. So this is currently set to points, but we could go in and say that there is no score for this particular rubric, or we could say that there is a custom point score. Choosing custom points will allow you to go through and edit a lot of the point values. You will also be able to reverse the level order. And when you click that, you can see that level 1 is now over on the left-hand side, whereas our edited excellent level is now over on the right. So that's a general analytic rubric, but there is also the holistic rubric that you could choose. If you choose that, it's very likely that you're going to lose a lot of the information that you've set into the analytic rubric. So we would recommend you running through this particular one first to see if it more suits your needs. If you do change this rubric from analytic to holistic, you may see some data loss. So once we've hit continue, you can see that what we have here is basically the bottom rubric, the overall rubric that was seen under the analytic section. Just like with the previous rubric, all you need to do to edit anything is go in and click in the box, and you'll be able to do any edits that you want. Let's say we want this out of a 35% for level 2. So in this case, anybody under 35% will be getting a level 1 style score. Level 2 is 35 and above, level 3 is 50 and above, and that renamed excellent category is 75 and above. You can also add in particular comments just as you did in the analytic. And once again, just like the analytic, we can always add on extra categories. So here you can see we've got a new category for anybody who makes the 100%. Now, as we scroll down for more options, you'll see that all of these options are the exact same ones that we saw in the analytic rubric as well. Now, after we've made all of our changes, we're going to scroll to the top and see that the changes we've made have been saved and the status is set to publish. So we are good to close whenever we decide that we are done editing our rubrics. Before we do, I am just going to go back into the analytic rubric. And we can see that it looks very different from the way that we left it when we flipped over to holistic. So I'm just going to go through and get rid of that new level that we'd added. And you can see that we only have the one criterion anymore. So if we wanted more, we would have to add more. So if you do have a very fleshed out analytic rubric and you just want to experiment with a holistic rubric, we recommend not flipping over to holistic in the same one. Simply make a new rubric and choose holistic from the beginning, and then you can experiment with that new rubric. When we are fully done, we'll just hit close. And this will bring us back to the rubric page. Now, to attach the rubric to either an assignment, quiz, or discussion, we're just going to go into assessments. And let's say we choose assignments from the dropdown. As I scroll to the bottom, I can see a test assignment that I've already made up. So I will click on that to get into the assignment editing page, and I'll click Edit Folder. Now, if I go over to the evaluation and feedback section and expand that, I can choose the Add Rubric option. Instead of creating a new rubric, I'm going to add existing. And we can see the new rubric that I've created automatically pops up. If you have a great number of rubrics, you may need to use the search bar to go through and search for the particular rubric's name. For now, I will select a new rubric and click Add Selected. And you can see that the rubric has been added under the evaluation and feedback section. Now I'll click Save and Close. And the rubric will be fully added to the assignment. For more Brightspace resources, please visit the Studio website at studio.smu.ca or swing by the Software and Application Support Center at Atrium 107.